joining me. Congrats on the Radleys. I thought it was great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of actors' dreams to play a vampire, and here you are playing two sometimes at the same time. So, what was that like? Had you played a vampire before? I was trying to look back. I wasn't sure if you had in a movie or TV show.
No, I mean, I made a film called Dreamcatcher where I'm possessed by an alien,
Oh, I
but
remember.
no, no, I haven't. And it was really good fun. Yeah, it's really fun exploring, the yin and yang, the dark and the light in each of us as represented by these twin brothers. So you know, it was really good fun. Really good fun. Yeah.
That's
Good
great.
fun to play, the badass rock and roll brother and the brother that's removed his family to a dull, sort of slightly dead suburban community in order to bring his family up in a sensible, safe environment. A lot of questions about what makes you happy, what doesn't make you happy in life.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah. There's a lot of relatable stuff in there, apart from the supernatural elements. And you sort of took my next question kind of right out of my mouth about Dreamcatcher. That's one of my favorite Stephen King novels, and I thought your sort of dual performance there was great. Once I learned, watching the Radleys that you were playing two roles, that's what I thought of. I was like, oh yeah, he's done this before, different story, of course. I mean, did you think of that as you were playing the Radleys? Were you ever thinking back to like, oh, like doing a similar approach at all, or maybe not? I don't know.
slightly different because Dreamcatcher was always, the possession was in the same physical space
Yeah,
in one person. This was different because there were two separate people.
yeah,
Uh, uh, I suppose the trick always though is how to make it believable, how to make how to make them interestingly different, but not too wildly different that you just forget that they're twins because they are twins after all in this.
right.
And yeah, staying concentrated, you know. So when I arrived as one, I didn't sound like the other.
I remember Dreamcatcher, you have the American accent, and then out comes sort of like your native accent. And I was like, wow, he really pulls that off. And then I learned, I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense.
At least you didn't think like some people did. So like that guy has not got a believable British accent. That's ridiculous.
No. They were both great. But yeah, and this movie, Radley's was a lot of fun, and um, yeah, I mean, was I mean, was did you enjoy playing one Radley more than the other? It seems like it might be an obvious answer, but I was curious. Maybe you have a surprising answer to that. I mean, did you prefer Peter or Will at the end of the day?
Who would I rather sit next to at dinner? Probably Will. You know,
Yeah,
he's the guy who is totally free. He's abandoned. He's unshackled by any responsibility in life. Goes and uh, converts people left, right, and center as he wants. He's sexually fluid. He's just totally his own person, uh, living a the life of a hedonist, you know,
yeah,
and but a loveless world,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah.
And Peter, on the other hand, is this troubled, bound, repressed guy who is longing, has this yearning for blood and all his past addictions, which he's removed himself from. He's really the heart of the movie, Peter. He's got this marriage that he's trying to save. Um, and he's turned into a bit of a wimp. And, his son kind of knows that and makes him feel that as well. There's a lot of shame in Peter, but he's probably slightly more complex.
Yeah.
So in that respect, more intricate and more fun to play.
Of course. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, so well done. I can't wait for everyone else to see it. And I also wanted to ask, I mean, you've been in some great movies and TV shows. I mean, Billions. I mean, so many people were obsessed with that show. Does it feel sort of surreal finally coming off that show, and it had such an epic run for all those years? I mean, how does it feel kind of post Billions?
It's a good question. You know, same with every job, but it was, made a great family. Loved the material. Loved playing Bobby Axelrod, who was, just basically a bad guy. you know, but he was like the cowboy, so he was fun. You know, he was the gunslinger. And Paul Giamatti's character was the sheriff. So, it was fun being the gunslinger, man. He was the hitman. So, you know, I had great fun playing him, and also, yeah, and then it's of course it's nice to move on from things after a while. Always is, and go try new things. And the Radleys propped up, and the Radleys is very different, and so was a fun opportunity to go do something different. That's
Of
that's
course.
that's the yeah.
Yeah. Onward and upward. Yeah, I get it. But I also noticed, it looks like there's
Well,
a
onwards and downwards. You never know how that's going to go.
well, I noticed there's another Wolf Hall series coming up, which looks great. I mean, you're returning to the Henry VIII character alongside Mark Rylance. So how did it feel returning to such a iconic character for a follow-up series?
Well, I think we always knew we were going to do it. That third book has always been there. We didn't know it
Oh,
was going to take 9 years, you know, which surprised all of us when we arrived on set. We went, wait a minute, it was 9 years ago we were last doing this, and that seemed like a long time. So, um, but it's a very different kind of book. It's right at the final sort of dip in the tragic arc of Cromwell and Henry as well, actually. And so there's a real, oh, I don't know, it feels like there's a sort of heavy, sad inevitability to it. Henry is becoming more and more unpredictable, and Cromwell is losing the magic touch. And I love playing opposite Mark. And uh, yeah, loved it. Loved it. It's coming soon. I hope people like it.
oh, I'm sure they will. Yeah, it looks great. And in the meantime, congratulations on the Radleys. It's a wonderful little movie.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a crackpot independent movie that I think people are going to get a real kick out of it. It's very. I haven't had anyone come out yet who just didn't say, "God, that was so enjoyable." And maybe I wonder what I just saw, but it was so enjoyable. It has sort of like a love story and a vampire story and a comedy all at the same time. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
going on.
It's a nice little genre mishmash. I like it.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Well,
Oh,
great. Well, congrats again. It was nice to meet you, and hope we can do this again.
yeah, you too, man. Thank you.